So I just saw the drama by Kristoffer Borgli, and it's one of the best films of the year in my opinion. The movie is really layered with a lot of interesting characters and a lot of interesting performances, and one that I was just hooked from beginning to end. Now, when I watch movies, the biggest thing I pay attention to, apart from what's happening on screen, is the score, and in this one, I thought it was really interesting. Hello and welcome back to Notes on Film. My name is Josue Peralta. I wanted to hop on here really fast to talk about the score by Daniel Pemberton for the drama and what I thought about it, and because it wasn't that long, there's not much for me to say about it. The score itself is only 21 minutes long, which for such a long movie as this one is completely lopsided. This is the second time I've encountered such lopsidedness between the length of the film and the length of the score. The first time being with The Secret Agent, which you can find a review of in the description below. Now, I heard the score before watching the movie to see if I could predict how good the movie was going to be based on the score, as I tend to do internally, and as I did with my past review on Super Mario Galaxy, and I turned out to be right in that one. And for this one, I couldn't really come up with a verdict on it because it is so minimalistic. For it to be so simplistic as it is, I thought that the movie was going to be equally as simplistic or not as deep, or it was just going to be missing some elements because, again, the score did not reflect it. I'm happy to report that this one was actually a lot better than I thought it would be. On its own, it plays a lot like if you were playing the game Clue, where you're being an investigator and you're trying to see what the heck is going up and trying to play a detective. Now, that tracks with the movie in the sense that there is a big reveal and he's trying to be inquisitive as to the whys and see where this can go from here, and if he's supposed to stay in this relationship after said revelation or what have you. And that does track. But that's not the majority of the film, nor is that really what the film is centering on. So when I went to go see it, I was really shocked at how funny the movie was and how the score played into that comedy. If you haven't listened to the score on its own, it basically plays a lot like one song caught up in a lot of different ways. Even then, there's only one instrument that I could discern. I'm not sure which one it is. Maybe it's the oboe, maybe it's the clarinet, but it really is just rhythmic, beat, 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 space, beat, beat, beat. And it really is just kind of that sort of repetitiveness. Now, I mentioned that it was funny because in the movie, the score actually does play to the comedy. I wouldn't have necessarily thought that just by listening to the score, so it was good to see that it was different on film. But for more than just the comedy, the score played two other strong parts. The first one being that the movie is in fact really awkward. There are a lot of awkward moments, there are a lot of awkward pauses. The editing really helps with that. And the score also works as a connective tissue, kind of holding you through emotionally until that awkward moment has passed. I thought that was super clever, and I thought that was marvelous by Daniel to do it like that. And the editing I thought was perfect. To date, I haven't encountered how, like I said, a seemingly one song just cut up in different ways can both be played for comedy and then played for the emotional core to hold you during that awkward moment. And then I said there was a third one, and that third role that it plays is that it sometimes it intensifies the awkwardness in that specific scene, which is really cool. So whereas before it would be played for comedy, now it's played for intensifying and taking you in further into that awkwardness and further into that weird situation. And you're like, wait a second, I was not ready for this. And the score kind of puts you in all the way. I heard a comedian say one time that if you're bombing, take the audience with you. Don't let them see you sweat. And that's what that third piece of the score I think really does well, in that it takes you into that awkward and really uncomfortable moments and says, I am going to intensify this, and you're going to feel this in a way that you haven't felt throughout the movie yet. And we're all just going to sink together, which is really, really creative. I don't know how he was able to do that with just such a simplistic score, something that I really enjoyed in the film. So again, it played for comedic purposes in the beginning of the film. Number two, in the middle of the film, it played to kind of hold you emotionally through the awkward moments. And then in the latter part of the film, it played to intensify and to bring you closer into their hell, into the character's hell, and to keep you there with its rhythmicness that we had been primed to in the beginning and middle parts of the film. And so while it is really minimalistic, it is minimalistic on purpose, and one that I can stand by and say, Daniel, you really hit it out of the park. I enjoyed it. Hell of a job, bro. honestly. I'll mention again that I don't think this is an album that's worth listening to on its own because of its repetitive nature and because it just, again, feels like one song. That said, it's not unmemorable. So if I were to rate it, I'd give this a 5. Good, but average. If you have yet to see the film and have only heard the score, you're going to be pleasantly surprised when you actually go see the film and see how well it plays in the specific moments and the beats that it accentuates through its 3 different tasks that it takes on. But anyway, those are just my thoughts on the score by Daniel Pemberton for the drama. Let me know what you think about the score down below. While you're down there, let me know if you have a movie or a score that you want me to review. While you're down there, the like and the subscribe button work too. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you all next time. Take care. Peace.